What's good, everybody? Drive time, back at it again. So, I got questions. Because I'm now seeing all these people posting about how these ICE arrests are so terrible and what a world we're living in, and the times are this, and this is so bad, and this is not the America, and this is the all these things about these people being arrested, and some of them are very violent, by the way. They're being grabbed, flung around, thrown in zip ties, spoken to very harshly, a lot of foul language going on, no explanations behind what's happening, just a roll up, get over here, put your hands behind your back. No explanation of who these people are. They covering their faces. They not telling these people why. They just, grabbing them, hemming them up, and trying to throw them in the back of vans and trucks or whatever it is. And I'm seeing a lot of this is wrong and how could we's and all of this stuff. And I'm confused because at the ripe old age of 44, I've spent my entire life hearing these very same people say things like, well, the side of the road is not the place to argue. The side of the road is not the place to debate the law. The side of the road and out in the field is not where you try to prove your case. The side of the road is where you're supposed to comply with their orders so that everything can go smoothly. Out in the field is where you're supposed to just do what they're telling you and then take it up with the courts, and you're supposed to just comply with their orders even if they're unlawful, or even if you don't understand, or even if they don't explain it, because these are the people with the guns and the authority, and you don't want to make their job any harder by arguing with them and yelling at them and screaming at them and fighting them and wrestling with them, because their job is so hard and it's stressful enough, and they all have families, and some of them are veterans with PTSD, and we just need to just cooperate and make it as easy as possible so everything can go smoothly. And then if anything was wrong, or if anything was unlawful, or anything was unfair, or if anything was unjust, or if anything was done any way it wasn't supposed to, we're supposed to just deal with the situation as it is, meaning just obey, just comply, just get arrested, just get thrown in the back of a car, just get taken to jail, just get ticketed, just get taken to court, and then fight it in a courtroom. This is what's been the mantra for the entire 43 years of my 44 years on the planet. But now, woe is the officers for having to deal with these people who are fighting them. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's not what it was. No. I got that wrong. It's actually, woe is the people who have to fight these officers who are doing this to them. For real? So we feel sorry for the people that's being unjustly arrested and the whatevers, because they're having to fight these people, and we need the officers to stop fighting them and just leave them alone. There's a few terms that come from the inner city that many of us from these areas have heard, and many of these people who are not from these areas know nothing about, apparently. And this is why they say these things. One of them is DWB. That's called driving while black. And that is what happens when you get pulled over when you know for a fact you are not speeding, because you set your cruise control 2 to 3 to 5 miles under what the speed limit is. You know that your license plate is valid because you stay on it diligently. You know your registration and tags are valid because you also are diligent on those. You know that your headlights and tail lights all work properly because you check them before you leave, because you know that driving through certain neighborhoods will get you a DWB no matter what you do. You know that when you get pulled over and they ask you if you had anything to drink and you say yes, and they say when, you say 3 hours ago, 1 drink. I'm a certified bartender and I know how long it takes for alcohol to dissipate, and you still get 5 cars and a K9. You just cooperate. Because, just comply, just follow orders, take it up with the courts. And then you would still be told, well, they got a rough job. Sometimes people lie. And honestly, inner city has dealt with it forever. Because we had another phrase, comply or die. And one thing that we knew was that fighting, wrestling, boxing in, spitting on, and whatever, an officer would get you shot. And not just once, you get a clip unloaded in you. If you was lucky, only one clip. But now we got people sympathizing for the people doing the same thing. Oh, and by the way, these are the people who we know are actual criminals. That's the crazy part. Is it's not unjust because it's happening to actual criminals. Because by the way, nobody in I won't say nobody. Few people in my community would have said this about the dude that was the drug dealer in the neighborhood, because we knew, they finally caught him. No. We came up with these phrases for the kid that was working 2 part-time jobs while going to community college to try to get a degree so he didn't have to deal with this kind of stuff. That's where we came up with these phrases. That's where we came up with these examples. In fact, the example that I gave you was me coming home from work one night, or coming home after work one night, because I had just wanted to go out and let off some steam, so I went out and danced for a couple hours. And then there's the time that I was coming home from dance practice, but I had dance practice kind of far across town, so I had to go through a couple really nice neighborhoods. So there was the time that I was on my way home from the dance studio around the corner from my house, but I still had to drive through a pretty nice subdivision on the way. And I was told that I rolled through a stop sign, even though I know for a fact I stopped, because I stopped to try to figure out where I was, to try to figure out my directions before I proceeded. But anyway, these are things that we know for a fact have gone on for a while. And it was always just comply. Don't make their job any harder. But now you got people not complying and making their job harder while actively being criminals, and y'all are sympathizing for them? I'm going to say something that's going to go against my Christian values, and I'll admit that it's not a proper Christian thing to say. But if you're one of those people, you can go ahead on and fuck right off.